Good morning, gladiators. Today is Wednesday, September 23rd. For your warm-up, we'd like for you to think of a few strategies that you use to find the meaning of an unfamiliar word in your reading. So when you are reading a text and you come across the word that you do not know or that is unfamiliar to you, what are some strategies that you might use? Think about those. We're going to review what a dictionary entry looks like. The denotation is the definition of a word. When you are looking up a word, in this case it would be intent, this is what you would find in the dictionary. So the word intent is an entry word, and it is separated, the dot separates the syllables. The little number 1 notes that there are more than one definition entry. These are guide words. This tells you the first word on the page, and this is the last word on that page in the dictionary. Here in brackets, we have the pronunciation. It is separated by syllables. This mark tells you which syllable to stress. We have the part of speech. The abbreviation tells you what part of speech it is, and in this case, it is a noun. The word intent is a noun, but if you see down here, it's also used as an adjective. The definition is the meaning of the entry word. If there is more than one meaning, the definition will be divided by numbers. Here is a page number, and then sometimes you'll have the origin of the entry word. And last, it will give you the plural form of the word, so you know exactly how to write it in its plural form. And in this case, you would just add an S. So when you come across an unfamiliar word, here is a strategy to use to find its meaning. Of course, you use the context clues, but you can also use synonyms to decipher a word. The most basic and perhaps helpful type of context clues are synonyms. If you can't decipher a meaning, adding a few synonyms or words with similar meanings is a surefire way to point to a word's meaning. Let's take a look at a few examples. So here we're looking at the word implacable. Something gripped Ivan in an unyielding and implacable hold. That might be an unfamiliar word to you. So we would take the sentence and think of possible synonyms to help us decipher the meaning. So relentless, ruthless, unforgiving. Something gripped Ivan in an unyielding and unforgiving, ruthless hold. Ivan's sickly protests only fed their taunts, and they jeered cruelly. Possible synonyms: they sneered, they ridiculed, they mocked cruelly. So let's go over mood and tone. Readers need to determine the tone and the mood of your text, and it'll help us understand the author's intent, um, or maybe some in-between meanings or aha moments that the author wants us to figure out. The tone is the author's attitude towards the subject and the characters. And this is revealed by the author's word choice. Mood is your feelings, the atmosphere of that's created by the author. Sometimes literature makes us feel joyful, solemn, or angry. This might be very different than how the character is feeling. And a little hint to help remember that is when you wear a mood ring, whose feelings does the mood ring reveal? And it reveals the person who is wearing the mood ring, that is you, the reader. So mood is how the reader feels, and tone is the author's attitude towards the subject. And both of these are determined by word choice. Every word, almost every word, will have a connotation. And a connotation is a word of a word is the feeling or mood associated with the word. Connotations can be positive, negative, or neutral. So for instance, the word lazy. If somebody called you lazy, or if they're describing the character as being lazy, would that have a negative or a positive or possibly neutral connotation? Most likely it would be negative. Or if somebody said you were chill, then in your case, teenager's stance would be that that is a positive connotation. What if you were bored? Usually negative. And if you were relaxed, would be positive. So all these words have similar meanings, but the choice that you make to put this word in your writing or to describe your feelings would come with a connotation of being positive, negative, or neutral. And here are some examples of positive and negative tone words. So let's give it a try. What is your personal response to this image? What mood words or tone words would you use? So some people might say gloomy or sad or bored. Now we read this text. It says, she curled up with a hot cup of coffee by the warm, inviting fire on this rainy afternoon, feeling calm and safe. That does not match our initial choice of mood words as in depressing. Some tone words that the author would use is warm and inviting, positive connotation. Calm and safe are also positive. So because of these tone words, it changes from a negative connotation to a positive connotation. So let's think about the overall tone of this passage. What words helped you figure out the tone? The girls were playing in the pond, splashing each other, trying to catch fish with their hands. They were having fun, but kept looking over their shoulders at the looming forest. The long grass of the field kept moving, and they sort of felt like they were being watched. About a half an hour passed, and still the girls kept checking the field for movements. It seemed like a pair of dark eyes was on them. They even considered going back inside, but that would mean homework time. So they continued splashing, but with caution now. Their eyes hardly left the field. So some of these tone words, dark eyes, caution, watched, looming, are all negative connotation, and so it would seem that this would be it may be a suspenseful tone. But to continue on, finally, one of the girls pointed to the grass and giggled. Meow, a cat sat on the edge of the field and licked its paws. They did indeed have company. The girls ran over to the cat and pet his belly. They laughed, and the cat sauntered back to the field. So now the connotation has changed to positive. Words such as giggled, laughed, sauntered changes the tone, and possibly the mood to something of happiness. So now we're going to read Cemetery Path by Leonard Q. Ross. And you can click on this link here in your notes. We'd like for you to write down evidence of the tone. So what sentences have strong tone words? And then you are going to complete the discussion activity. In Schoology, there is a tone discussion activity. There are 2 videos for you to watch to help you better understand the difference between mood and tone. And after we have discussed or you have thought about the text, Cemetery Path, use the discussion post below to explain clearly what is the difference between tone and mood. And please use text evidence from the short story Cemetery Path to provide tone words. So first, what is the difference between tone and mood? Please explain that in your post, and then include some text evidence from the short story that shows strong tone. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please, if you have any questions, we're here. Hope to see you in Zoom, or you can send us an email. Have a great day, Gladiators.